Cronin Toyota and Cronin Nissan are honored to partner with Proudly We Served, as well as the continued support of our local active and retired military veterans across eastern Indiana.
I'm Al Bledsoe, VFW Post 1108.
I'm Ron Chappell, chaplain for the Vietnam Veterans Association 777 here in Richmond, co-host here with Al at Proudly We Serve.
And today our guest is...
I'm Joe DeVito. I'm the Outreach Director for Indiana Department of Veterans Affairs.
Good.
Okay, and
Good
we are just really happy to have you here today.
Yeah.
We've had guys down from Indianapolis, but now we got our hometown guy that can be here a lot, so with a wealth of information. So to get
That's
started,
a warning too when he said that.
Yeah. I'll take it.
to get started, Joe, give us a little background of who you are and what you do and those kind of things.
I sure will. So I started off on this journey as joining the Coast Guard. So I went as a Coast Guard out of high school and did some great things in the Coast Guard. I got to see some great things. Got to see the Caribbean a lot. I was on a 210-foot drug patrol cutter out of Port Canaveral, Florida, which is right near Cocoa Beach, and did that for quite a while. Then I went to electrician school, then up to Boston, and wound up getting medically retired out of the Coast Guard. There's an old adage, I think someone told me afterwards, never let them operate. Well, I didn't know that. So that brought me to Indiana from Boston. I came out here, was down in southern Indiana and wound up using my benefits to go to school. So I went to IU Southeast down there.
Okay.
Graduated from there and had my own business and had some benefits to deal with my GI Bill and being retired out of the military. So I found a resource there, which was a county veteran service officer. And I found a really good one down there. He was a really good service officer. His name was Dick Jones, and he was very helpful to me in getting some paperwork done and getting through my college programs, and then some other benefits I was getting through the VA, and got to know him well. And over the course of years, I started my own business down there, and then about 15 years later, Dick retired. So I wound up taking that position. He had done a lot for me, and I wanted to give back, and so I had the opportunity to take over that role. It was a part-time position. And with the commissioners down there, that's who I would report to. They're in charge of that office. They were really super great at helping me bring that office, up to speed as far as technology, hours, and to see a need. So I was so happy to be able to expand that office and grow it. And then while doing that, we worked very closely as county veteran service officers with the Indiana Department of Veterans Affairs. We worked with some new folks there back in 2012, around there, who came in and really wanted to solidify the partnership between the county veteran service officers and the state of Indiana.
I remember that. I kind of remember that a bit.
And we're tied together through Indiana code. So, there's quite a few things that the Indiana Department of Veterans Affairs oversees with the county veteran service officers. It's an interesting setup because the state is a state agency, but then the county service officers all work for the county. So it's an independent to each of the 92 counties. But it was a really great opportunity to kind of build that relationship and bring some new things in. And what they did then is they brought in accreditation, so a mandatory accreditation for each county veteran service officer.
Okay.
So they needed to get accredited through a federal agency, and brought in a computer system for everybody to use, and really making some great strides. And so along the way, after about 8 years in the county service office, the Indiana Department of Veterans Affairs created, with the legislature, 6 new positions with IDVA that were district state service officers. So they split the state up into 6 separate districts, each containing anywhere from 12 to 16 counties in each district. And these district service officers would be hired and live in their district, not in Indianapolis, but actually live in their district and travel that district to bring that hands-on service to each county service office. So they would be able to help right there in the office with any difficult claims or appeals. They would definitely help train on the computer system, train new service officers when they came in, and support staff. And so proud and happy to say I was hired to do the Southeast one. So I came on, left the Jefferson County Veteran Service Office and moved into that Southeast District position. And I was able to help them kind of build that up. It was a lot of fun, and I had 16 counties in Southeast Indiana that I traveled through, and did that for 2 years. After 2 years, we had at that point had a new director at IDVA, Director Dennis Weimer. I think he's been on the show.
Weimer, yeah. I know Weimer.
Yeah.
I know that name.
Yep, and Dennis really
An Air Force guy.
Yep, Air Force. He came in and wanted to, keep progressing the Indiana Department of Veterans Affairs, and restructured the way we did things and created some new things. And one of the things he created was the Outreach and Communications Division. So I was, once again, lucky enough to go through the interviews and all the process, and I was offered the position to be the director statewide for this new division of Outreach and Communications.
Wow,
So
that's amazing.
that's where I've landed now. And then along that path, about 6-8 months ago, my wife and I were ready. My kids are grown and gone, and we were ready to find a new spot in Indiana, and we found Richmond, Indiana. And as soon as we visited some friends here, we both said, let's start looking here, and we now live here, and I love it.
Good.
Don't look old enough to have kids that are grown and gone.
We won't go into that.
Don't go into that.
Yeah. Your kids are older than that.
Oh, my. Oh, gee. Great grandkids.
Well, look, we're really glad to have you, and we're glad to have really a liaison
Yeah.
between Richmond, Indiana, and Indianapolis,
Right.
of
Yeah.
where they're at, till they kind of recognize us. As you know, and we've talked about that a little bit, the veteran community in this area, Wayne County especially, we're very active. We're probably as active as any group, if you will, could be. So.
Yeah.
It really is. It's. I've had the honor to work statewide with this position. When I was the district service officer, we covered each other's districts when people were either out sick or we had vacancies, and I had opportunities to train and do other events across the state, and then with this position as well. And one of the things that really made a great impression on me was the activeness of this veteran community here in Richmond. I was blown away by the park.
Oh, yeah.
And then when I got to know Ron a little bit better down at the County Veterans Service Office and started interacting with him and seeing the things that were happening, and it kind of culminated with the when the traveling Tomb of the Unknown Soldier
Yeah,
came through.
I remember that. That's where I met you at.
I was so privileged to be able to speak at that event, and then to see the attendance was amazing.
Yeah.
And the activity here is truly impressive, and I think it's one of the best in the state. So it makes me really proud to be a resident here.
Yeah.
Yeah, our area, our county is very supportive of veterans.
Absolutely.
When I first got here, that's one of the first things that I noticed. Noticed when people found out I was a veteran, they were just very accommodating, and I appreciated that.
I never really got involved until about 2008 because I was busy trying to make a living. And then once everything got slowed down, if you will, enough, then I could do more of what I really like to do. And I like to be around people. I like to talk to people. We started this show, I think, 8 years ago, maybe,
Something
or
like
so.
that, yeah.
And it's been on, and it's a good thing because we get information out to the community. We have probably, like anyone, we have a select audience of people that watch it all the time. And then people watch it that people come up if I'm out at Lowe's and say, hey, I saw you on your program. And of course, I don't know who they are. But that's the way people
Appreciate
support
it,
this
though.
community, though.
Yeah.
It's been really, really good with the veteran community. The
So let's-
clubs are pretty strong.
Oh, yeah.
VFW, Post 65, those are strong entities. The Marine Corps League.
Yeah.
We have several of them. We don't have an AMVETS here in town, I don't think, but and you've been really, you've just fit into this just like
Yeah.
whatever. I mean, it's just really been good. So
Yeah, yeah. So, guys, let's talk about some things. Joe, some of the stuff that you can provide for us, for veterans out there. You know, I'm always getting inquiries from folk about different things, about benefits and that kind of thing. So maybe we need to touch on that a little bit. This is a new year, you know, and people are thinking about doing some things that they didn't do before, and so maybe we can encourage them to
any of the
go to
programs.
get the benefits that they're supposed to get.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
And I think,
Cool.
you know, one thing I definitely want to make sure everybody's aware of is, you know, we have a county veteran service office in every county in the state.
Right.
That is the boots on the ground benefits expert for our veteran community across the state.
Right.
And you're going to hear me use the term our veteran community, the Indiana veteran community. And that's important because we want people to know who we serve. As the Indiana Department of Veterans Affairs, we're here to support, serve, and advocate for the Indiana veteran community.
Yeah.
And that encompasses more than just veterans.
Right.
It encompasses caregivers, family members, friends, businesses that support. Really anybody who's interacting with a veteran or working with a veteran or knows a veteran. If you're the relative of a veteran, you're a part of our community and you're part of the Indiana veteran community. Right. So we want to make sure that we're reaching as many folks as we can and letting them know about those benefits and services.
Right.
And that county veteran service office is that's that frontline place that we want. That's a great place to start.
Yeah, we've been blessed in that area.
Yeah, and you know the benefits realm is it's vast, and as we're talking, you know, we have two entities. So we're the Indiana Department of Veterans Affairs. There's also the federal VA. That's the VA. When people think of the VA, that's the federal VA.
Yeah.
The federal VA consists of 3 branches. So there are 3 divisions of the federal VA. One is going to be the Veterans Benefits Administration, the VBA. The other one is Veterans Healthcare Administration, that's VHA. And the third branch is the Veterans Cemeteries Administration. So those are the 3 distinct divisions of the federal VA, which I believe I read at one point was the largest government entity in the world, is our VA. Wow. So it's, with the massiveness of it and with all that it does, it has minutia and it has paperwork. And paperwork, and paperwork. And even when it's now mostly electronic, it's still a lot, and it's intimidating. And it's the kind of thing where you can look at other government agencies, Social Security and other things, where for the people who dig in and use that paperwork daily, they know how to maneuver it.
Right.
And that's what your county veteran service officer is. He's the one, she is the one who knows how to get through those federal VA benefits, state benefits, applications, forms, eligibility. So they're a great resource for veterans to go see, make an appointment, take the time, and discuss your situation. We work really closely with them and in trainings that we do with other entities as well, that interview is important. They get to ask the right questions. Most of the time, a veteran will leave an appointment with their CVSO having applied for some benefits and or services that have nothing to do with why they walked in the door. And that happens a lot. So that's where that specific one-on-one interaction is important. I'll talk about some great benefits and services here that the federal VA offers and also that Indiana Department of Veterans Affairs office. But that's kind of general information. Specific to each veteran or veteran family member is going to be in that one-on-one sit-down. And so it's vitally important to go to your county veteran service officer.
I know when we had 2, when Pete was here, it was a little bit easier to manage people coming in and things like that. Ron's done a tremendous job, I think, of just, if you will, picking it up and carrying water. He's there anytime you need him. I mean, if you call him, he's always there, and he's always out someplace in the veteran community at one of the clubs or something. You can always get a hold of him. So he's really good, but we probably need that second person just to eliminate a little bit of that, whatever you want to call that. It's not, I don't think it's pressure, but it's just
It's a little
to get to, it's a little bit of pressure to get it,
Yeah.
especially
It
the
could be
younger
weighty,
ones.
yeah.
And that's what I always read the service officer, if you will, is trying to draw the younger ones in, because the only thing that our community, the veteran community now, is everybody's getting older. It's getting harder to get things done. You tend to accept things instead of debating something if it's wrong or something. And that's I don't know how to fix that, to get younger ones where they're actually involved. They don't have to join the clubs or anything like that, but they can certainly join
Right.
and do something in the veteran community, especially the younger ones.
Well, so
Absolutely.
many of them are missing out on their benefits.
Yeah.
They're out there and
I don't know why that is. I mean, they don't.
We're really attempting to reach all the veterans that we can, and talking about the service officer here in Wayne County. And you said I think they are working to get that second position,
Yeah,
so they're back
right.
to 2. And I've worked really hard in the Southeast and with our other DSOs across the state, and we are always working and encouraging the county governments to have a really good understanding of what the county veteran service officer does, what that office brings to the community, and to make that a division lead in the county, to make that a highly important, good job,
Sure.
full-time job. What it brings back is immense. So if you think of it, it's basically going to be the only government office in the county that generates revenue for the community. And what I mean by that is, in the form of benefits, especially our federal benefits, service-connected disabilities are one of the big benefits
Sure.
out there, as well as veterans' pensions and widows' benefits. The way those benefits are awarded is in tax-free, direct deposited money into the bank accounts of the recipient of that award. And studies have shown over and over that when Americans get money, extra money into their bank, they usually spend it, and they usually spend it within 12 miles of their home. So now to think about that, that's one way we can put that, and then to add to that, an example, I haven't looked the figures up, but Wayne County, I know up in Richmond's about 33,000 people. And so I can give you some Jefferson County numbers from way back
Yeah.
in the day of about 13,000 people. So in Jefferson County, when I had left the office, we were, the government tracks all of these numbers down to the county. So we're able to look on the GDX and know that right now, I believe in Jefferson County, tax-free money getting direct deposited into residents in the county is over $10 million a year.
Wow.
And I know it's going to be way more here.
Yeah.
And that money is going right back into the community, right back into the economic development of that area. So it's highly important for veterans to access that, understand that, and get those benefits. And the generational, you could think of it that way, gap, or you say the younger veterans.
Yeah.
We want to get a hold of them, and we're making a lot of efforts now, and we could use as much help from the communities as we can get. And one of the ways we look at that, we talked about Director Weimer before, and I use him as an example. He uses himself as an example. Dennis was in the Air Force, and he was a captain, I believe. And when he got out of the Air Force, he came to Indiana, where he's from, and I think he went 10 to 15 or somewhere in that range of years of living, raising kids, had no idea what a benefit was. Didn't know there was benefits, didn't know any of that. Now he's receiving benefits, he's taking advantage of different opportunities like we want him to. And I think that there's, a lot of veterans do their time, get out, and then work, family,
Yep,
things
sure.
come,
Yep.
and you get busy, and you just do what you do, and if you don't join a
Right.
club and you don't, you're kind of not in contact. So one of the things we're doing with our outreach this year, one of our goals for 2022 is to get out there and try and find veterans not necessarily doing veteran things. Statistically, Indiana matches about the national average, which would be, these are rough numbers, but approximately 40% or so of veterans, men and women who wore a uniform, served in the military, and now are out, veterans. About 40% of them qualify for some federal VA benefit. About half of that number are accessing those benefits. So I call that one group the other half. We need to find that other half. And once they find out about those benefits, get them to apply, and they deserve those benefits. And I think what we're doing is, what I feel like is happening is the half we are connecting with are the VFW members, the Legion members, the people who are taking advantage of those benefits. They have other veterans they hang out with. They're involved in veteran groups, and they do those veteran-centric things. And I think that other half is those hustle bustle, not involved in those things. So we want to find them. We want to find them. We did a great outreach this past year at the state fair. So we were able to set up for the first full weekend, and the last, it was like 4 weeks this year, the state fair. So we were there for 2 full weekends. And it was amazing the contacts that we had with veterans. I think we had over 450 direct contacts with veterans, and about half of them had no idea about their benefits. So it was really interesting. But that's not a veteran event. That's just an event. So we want to continue to look for combining with other folks. Had a great meeting with some folks at the Indianapolis Colts this year about trying to interact with veterans during those types of events. And we just want to, across the state, if your town or community has an apple festival, if you've noticed there's 300 people on Tuesday nights at a Little League ballpark, let your CVSO know. They know, they'll let us know, and we can maybe plan to do some outreach and get some people there and encourage those veterans and their family members to encourage the veterans.
We had a couple of young Marines that actually joined the VA, the medical part of it. And they're young Marines. Both of them served in Iraq. And the one kid I just never could understand. I said, why aren't you paying attention to these benefits that you can get? Because he was around these burn pits and all that stuff that's, where they're going to start paying some disability on stuff like that, I think. And he had no clue. He said, well, when I got out, I was just worried about getting home. And I said, so somewhere when the guy gets out, if you will, somewhere along the line there's that area there that they don't get it, or they don't understand what VA benefits are.
Well, I think too, a lot of that is you don't know what a service-connected issue is. And so you just go on and you deal with it, and you run to the various places around the community, health centers and all that kind of stuff, but you never connect that problem with your time of service.
Absolutely.
So,
well, this kid's a Marine, and he's really, for a Marine, he's really a good kid. He's not like some of them Marines are. And we'll leave that alone. But because he had a real problem with an infection. And so he said he went to Dayton, and he couldn't get anything done. That's because he's a little bit bashful, if you will, about doing stuff. And I said, I don't know. So I called Javon, and I said, look, this guy needs some help. He's a Marine, and he's been there once, and he's not getting any satisfaction. Well, the next time he went over, then he got it taken care of. But he just didn't want to talk about it. He didn't want to bring it up, even though he's a Marine. Good kid, 27, 28 years old. Got a good future in the car business, I mean, if he stays with it, so.
Well, and that's so vital, that connection to the community.
Exactly.
So to know you and have run into you and have you give him that advice, and that's important. And I think, that's where we're looking to drive veterans to those CVSO offices. They're very connected with other folks in the community and organizations, and on the different level of things that we do at IDVA. You were talking earlier vitally about when somebody gets out of the service, they discharge out of the service. That's the best time to get them.
Exactly.
So we are working with the Department of Defense right now. We are just now started garnishing some intel on veterans who are discharged. So when you get out of the service, you have the ability, it's not a necessity, but you can check a box of which state to have some information sent to.
Excellent.
So if they pick Indiana, now we're getting this spreadsheet of data, and it's interesting. The trick is a lot of it is not current. So we're getting their phone number, but it was the phone number when they were in. It may have been so. Depending on that, so we're going to start utilizing that to reaching out to veterans through email, through text, and through any means we can to find them. But the actual pick Indiana, give us a way to contact you, is something Dennis has been working with other state directors and with the federal VA and with the Department of Defense. So they are making some great strides right now in creating an actual system for that to happen.
That's great.
Which is
That'd be good.
It's vital. It is vital. And you know, we were talking about the service-connected disabilities and benefits in general. And you know, the one thing I always like to get out there is we're all going to run into veterans who might say, well, somebody else deserves that more than me. I'm okay.
Yeah.
And so the thing I want to tell those veterans is the service-connected disability funds, the pension funds, is not, there's this much money, and if we run out, we're going to stop giving veterans money. The budget, Federal Reserve, I don't budget how that works, isn't that way. If veterans qualify for a benefit and receive it, they're not taking it away from another veteran. So if you deserve the benefit, you should accept the benefit, and you deserve it. Whoever's getting that deserves that benefit. So we want to encourage veterans to go in and apply. I mean, if you apply for something and you don't get it, then you don't get it. If you apply for something and you get it, you deserve it. The VA system is not perfect.
Yeah.
Sometimes they will deny benefits to a veteran or a dependent who deserves that benefit. So, and there's a lot of minutia there. It's such a big thing. It's a system that if you need 14 things for that claim to go through and the veteran provides them with 13 of those things, they're probably going to get their claim denied. So it's not because they don't deserve it, it's because in this massive government program, there's only so many yeses and nos that it can go through and people reviewing it.
But you can apply again.
You can apply again, and if you want to have all 14 filled out right, you see your county veteran service officer, because that's what their expertise is, and is figuring that system out.
Folks, we're out of time. Please join us next month when we will continue our discussion with Joe DeVito on the great services he's bringing to the veteran community.
Cronin Toyota and Cronin Nissan are honored to partner with Proudly We Served, as well as the continued support of our local active and retired military veterans across eastern Indiana.